Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. My bad, as always. Life's crazy, right? Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you know, I've been doing some reading to you videos recently in the last few months. Obviously the last upload was maybe a month or two ago. However, we are very quickly approaching my favourite time of year, October, Halloween. It gives me an excuse to get all creepy looking if I'm not creepy looking enough any other time of the year. So I actually received a message from one of my long time followers and now friend, a very dear friend of mine now, Tanya, who messaged me on Instagram. I have a personal Instagram, but I don't have a business Instagram, poetry Instagram. Anyway, she messaged me. We write letters. I love writing letters, and me and Tanya write letters backwards and forwards. I have done for a while now. Anyway, she messaged me saying she really hoped that I would do a Halloween poem because they're one of her favourites. Now, I haven't written a poem in a very long time. I don't remember the last time I wrote a poem. But it is my favourite time of year. Tanya specifically said she really loves these kind of Halloween videos. So I figured, why not read my boy Edgar Allan Poe? So I thought I'd make a video reading Edgar Allan Poe to you guys for Halloween. We also have some really great On the Hunt Season 2, Series 2. It's a huge upgrade from Series 1, even if I do say so myself. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that, but that's in, well, depending on when I decide to upload this, it's either in a few weeks' time or this week, maybe. Anyway, let's read some Edgar Allan Poe. You know what? It's been so long since I've done this, I didn't even think to check that I was in focus just now. And now I'm turning the focus, but it's not doing anything. So I'm hoping I'm on autofocus. I am on autofocus from shooting On the Hunt videos. So we're all good. Anyway, I've got... Whoa, battery drained hard. Okay, let's see how we get on before I might have to change the battery on the camera. Spirits of the dead. Thy soul shall find itself alone, mid dark thoughts of the grey tombstone. Not one of all the crowd to pry into thine hour of secrecy. Be silent in that solitude, which is not loneliness, for then the spirits of the dead who stood in life before thee are again in death around thee, and their will shall overshadow thee. Be still. The night, though clear, shall frown, and the stars shall look not down from their high thrones in the heaven, with light like hope to mortals given. But their red orbs without beam to thy weariness shall seem as a burning and a fever which would cling to thee forever. Now our thoughts thou shalt not banish. Now our visions ne'er to vanish, from thy spirit shall they pass no more, like dewdrop from the grass. The breeze, the breath of God is still, and the mist upon the hill, shadowy, yet unbroken, is a symbol and a token, how it hangs upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries. The spirits. Well, there's no the. It's just spirits of the dead. I added the. I haven't changed, have I? Okay, cool. The Haunted Palace. In the greenest of our valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion, it stood there. Never seraph spread a pinion over fabric half so fair. I'll start that again, but it's not opinion, it's a pinion. I don't know if I... The Haunted Palace. In the greenest of our valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion, it stood there. Never seraph spread a pinion over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious, golden, on its roof did float and flow. This, all this, was in the olden time long ago, and every gentle air that dallied in that sweet day, along the ramparts, plumed and pallid, a winged odour went away. Wanderers in that happy valley, through two luminous windows saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law, round about a throne, where sitting Porphyrogene, in state his glory well befitting, the ruler of the realm was seen. And all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, and sparkling evermore, a troop of echoes, whose sweet duty was but to sing, in voices of surpassing beauty, the wit and wisdom of their king. But evil things, in robes of sorrow, assailed the monarch's high estate. Ah, let us mourn, for never morrow shall dawn upon him desolate. And round about his home the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed. And travellers now within that valley, through the red-litten windows, see vast forms that move fantastically to a discordant melody. While, like a ghastly rapid river, through the pale door a hideous throng rush out forever, and laugh, but smile no more. Hints of the Raven in that one. I find whenever I read Edgar Allan Poe, like at open mics or whatever, I always go into this weird, haunted voice, but hopefully it fits the scene. It paints the scene. Yeah. Two more. Probably two of the most famous ones. Annabel Lee, and then I'll close with, of course, The Raven. Sorry to be so typical. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee. So that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in the kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the sea of my darling, my life and my bride, in the sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. These last two I've read quite a few times, so I kind of get into the flow more. But as is tradition, there are always words I do not know how to pronounce. And that's the coffee. Okay, I don't know how much battery I've got left on this. Let's have a look. Okay, it's still only showing 1 bar, so let's see if I can squeeze in the Raven before we lose battery. The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books the crease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, 'Lenore?' This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, 'Lenore.' Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. 'Surely,' said I, 'surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.' Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art shorn, O craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I willed a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamp light gloating over she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quoth, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom's the angel name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. And that is some of my favourite poems by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really do have the best subscribers in the world. I do sometimes put some stuff on my community, and I do read through the comments, and you guys are still sending me some really amazing comments. I appreciate it. I know as the creator of this channel, I'm not getting content out as much. Life's crazy. I hope you enjoy season 2 of On the Hunt. Make sure you check back for that. It's really good. Please like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And please leave a comment, because again, although I'm not posting as much content as I would like, I do still stop by and read comments, and they mean a lot. And yeah.